All right, as you can see, I am almost done with my Zentangle tree. Right now I left a few open to just kind of finish up with you guys and show you, but I want you to notice that each square is a different Zentangle, okay? And when you hit the line of that square, even if you're in the middle of the tree trunk or in the middle of a branch, you should change Zentangles at the line of your square and move on to a new one, okay? If you can see down here, that's these full blocks of the same Zentangle. But once you get up here, when there's more branches, you're still gonna wanna keep the same Zentangle for the whole square. You can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different branches here, and they all have the same Zentangle in the square, and then once you hit the edge of the square, it changes to a new Zentangle. Okay? All right. So what I've been using is these 2 Sharpies, a pencil, and then something that has a straight edge. You can use this compass if you want, or you can use a ruler. This Sharpie is a fine point tip, so this is what I've been using for all my little lines, where this Sharpie is just regular, and I've been using that for a lot of my darker sections. Okay, let's finish this Zentangle tree together. All right, I left these 2 squares to finish up so I can talk to you a little bit about them. First thing you're gonna do is use your pencil. Okay, so if you make a mistake, you don't have to start all over, because this can take you hours to get this done, and I don't want you to make a mistake, little mistake with a Sharpie, and you're starting over, okay? So when we are looking at our squares, I want to think about contrast. All right, so I want you to be thinking about putting light marks next to dark. So this has a dark background, this has a white background. So we're talking about the foreground and the background, all right? So what are you coloring in? I want you to also think about contrast between shapes. Thinking about, okay, I have circles here. I want to do some straight lines near it. I have some more organic circles, and I'm having some straight. Some of these Zentangles have organic shapes and straight lines in them. So I want you to have contrast and variety, okay? No 2 squares should have the same Zentangle. All right, every one I want to be a different Zentangle. All right, let's look. Here is what I have left open. I haven't done anything in this square yet, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 branches here that we still need to do. I want to look at what we have around it, all right? I have a lot of thin Sharpie usage around these branches. All of them are the thin Sharpie, so meaning the foreground is colored and the background is a lot of white, so there's a lot of white. I also notice there's a lot of round shapes. So I am going to do something that contrasts these. I want to have a darker background and a lighter foreground. All right, and I want some straight edges in here, but I don't want to do full straight edge because I've done that quite a bit. So let's try this. I'm gonna do like almost like a flower type design with straight edge triangles on it. Let's do another one here. And if it goes out of the trunk, you just kind of finish it off. You don't keep going outside of the tree trunks, right? You just finish it where you think it would finish if it was landing elsewhere, okay? Okay, so now I did this tree trunk. I have to do this one the same because we're still in the same square. And that's why we're doing pencil. If you make a mistake, no big deal. I don't like that one. I actually want to start it in a different spot so it's not right in the middle. So I'm going to start it over here. I'm going to do like my triangles that kind of resemble what I think would be kind of like a flower. Put a petal here, triangle here, maybe there would have been a circle there. Half a circle with my last triangle there. All right, that looks good. Now, since I'm done with pencil, I'm going to use my Sharpies, all right? And I usually like to outline this in my thin Sharpie first so I can get the design figured out. And then I'll come back because I want this, remember, to contrast with the stuff around it. So I think I want a dark background on this one. All right, I'm done with my thin point. We're gonna color in the background, staying inside this square and inside the tree branch, excuse me. As you can see, I'm taking my time, you guys. This is going to take you a while, and that's okay. Take your time, really think about, use the different patterns that you want to use for your Zentangles to give your tree some contrast and variety. And these Sharpies can get away from you really fast. So go slow, take your time, stay in the lines. One more little spot here. There we go, this square is done. I have one more square to do and it's up here. All right, so now looking at this one, I'm gonna get my pencil out again. Looking at this one, I see there are circles, circles, circles. I have lots of circular organic shapes surrounding this square. So I think I want to do something a little more geometric to give it some variety, okay? I think I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do some squares or some diamonds. I want some variety too, so I'm going to overlap them so they're not just a bunch of squares floating around in there. And I'm going to do it in like rows. Yes. Any of these small spots, you would kind of just shape it out like where the squares would be because you don't have enough room for a full square maybe. Okay, and so I have dark here. I have some light here, some medium here. So this could go either way with background and foreground. I think I'm just gonna leave the background white and do the foreground with my fine tip Sharpie. so you can really see the squares and how they interlock. Do not do the outside of this circle. All right, we don't want to outline that. We just want to end there. So finish your design without making this a sharp-edged line. Okay, we're going to erase all of those pencil marks. And if you make mistakes with pencil, no biggie, because we just can erase them, right? All right. Once you are done, I want you to let the marker dry first, but then I want you to take a big eraser or your eraser, and we're going to erase all the pencil marks in our tree trunks, okay? So you can still see some pencil marks in this area over here from where I was doing my Zentangles. I also want to erase the grid marks in here. You can see the grid mark right there. You can see that grid mark. Inside the tree, erase. Outside the tree, leave it. You need that grid mark for later for our color. You can see lots of my pencil marks from this Zentangle that I think looks kind of like Christmas lights. I didn't follow my pencil marks very well, which is okay. I wanted to change it up a little bit, so now I'm erasing my pencil lines to make it look better. Okay. This over here now, this marker should be pretty dry by now. I let it dry for a few minutes. Come back in and erase my pencil marks. Okay, there we have it. There is my Zentangle tree, and I'm ready to begin with adding my color to the outside. This is all going to be colored, and it's going to contrast our Zentangle black and white patterned tree very nicely.